Welcome to the second layer of the Opticon card deck. This is what I would call the Fluent Layer. We have already shown how to use a spread in a very basic way in the first video. Now I assume that you have worked with it sufficiently to be watching this. In the Fluent Layer, nothing changes about the spread or the layout or how we do it and the steps we take. We are still going to enter in having consciously or unconsciously chosen a card that gives us access. We are still going to place the complete card down so that we know that all answers are accessible. We're still going to place an upside down guardian and an upside down answer. We are still going to turn them over so that we can see the spread before us. Whereas in the basic layer, I taught you to read it from left to right in a sequential order. But once you start to get to know the deck a little bit more, you understand that there are a lot more layers to it. And obviously these layers will develop as you go along and as you use this, and it's like a muscle, right? The more you use it, the better you get at it. Now in this second layer, or the Fluent Layer, you've already established a relationship with the card, the deck, the reading, and how it actually works. And you may even start to be sensing a few things that you've never sensed before and gained a bit more of an understanding about how your higher self or the great intelligence or your soul would actually speak to you. I must bring your awareness to one thing tonight or today, and that is that we never ask a question that's a yes or no answer. And I may have mentioned this before, but I feel like mentioning it again. Remember, this universe is made that it gives us free will. It means we always have choice. So never we ask a yes or no answer. Should I go for a job? Shouldn't I? Should I go for that person? Shouldn't I? Should I stay at home? Shouldn't I? We're basically handing our free will over, and we're not actually making the choice ourselves. And the universe in its infinite intelligence, or a higher self, soul, will never trespass against that law. So they'll never say to you, yes you must, no you mustn't, choose that one, choose this one. The choice is always up to you. That's why the yes and no answers are not the best ones to ask, and most times will actually not give you an answer. You need to ask your questions and seek your answers differently. For an example, instead of asking, should I take that job, which then needs a yes or no answer, you would ask, when I take that job, what will the energy be like and what will I have to deal with? Now that is definitely something that your higher self is going to answer, and it's certainly going to be a participant in. And you're also sort of throwing it out there, that's a potential future. If I go and stand in that potential future, what is it going to be like for me? So you've already made the choice, you've thrown it out as a future, and now the cards just tell you what it's going to be like. And you can most certainly dissolve the deck after you've got your answer, and then ask it from another point of view and ask them about a secondary job. If I take that other job, what is the energy is going to be like in that future? And then what you would do, you'd do the spread and you'd compare the two decks and the two answers, and from that then you could ultimately really step in the right direction. But getting back to the Fluent Layer, in the Fluent Layer we start to get cheeky, we start to get confident. And in a confident cheeky deck or layer, what we do is, instead of reading it from left to right, we start to understand that there's an interflow and a connection between all four cards, and that the first card doesn't necessarily have to be the primary card that you start from. As you progress with this, you start to tune in and understand that perhaps, the Jester may be the first card that you start to read from. So instead of saying, well, I am changing my current awareness, and because I'm complete and able to receive all answers, I must keep an open and light-hearted countenance, sense of mind and sense of peace, and then I'll be able to access the space between thoughts. At the second layer, we start to change it up. We don't have to read it that way anymore. It may be of better service for us to begin and say the following. Well, because I'm able to be unconditional loving, I'm able to jump into the unknown with a light heart, I can access a space between thoughts. And in doing that, I go into silence. In the silence, I am part of the completeness of the entire universe. And through that mechanism, I can evolve. So you are able to change the cards around and read them from any direction. In another deck of cards, you may read the fourth one first, and then jump to the first one. So they start to form a synergy between the four cards. You don't know at what time which one will be read first, which one second, which third, and which fourth. But you start to understand the flow between them. It's like all mathematics, right? If I read it from left to right, it gives me a particular equation or sum. If I read it another direction or another way around, I get a whole different answer and a whole different equation. So you start to really become sensitive to the voices of the cards, and they will speak to you which one comes first, second, which third, which fourth. And you'll see that the story they then begin to deliver starts to upgrade and change what they're actually saying. So it's just like a sentence. I am going for a run. You can put the emphasis on I, which changes the whole way it's said. You can put the emphasis on run, which changes the whole sentence. The cards work the same way. The emphasis begins to change. So have a go at this. Try this out. You don't have to do it sequentially anymore. You can start to switch them around in terms of how you read them, and you'll start to see a bigger picture start to emerge from the actual reading. Well, I hope you enjoyed that second layer. It is fun when you can start to do this and start to tune in, and you can look forward to the third and fourth layers which are coming. And of course, if you know anyone who wants the decks, they can always go to inspiresphere.org, and they're all available there. Thank you.